Hi everyone, my name is Florence and I'll be refuting my advocate's claim. Child beauty pageants are harmful for the development of young girls. I will prove this is not true. Since beauty pageants help girls develop discipline and character, my advocate's secondary claim where, number one, beauty pageants causes self-image issues, number two, it puts too much pressure on young girls, and number three, beauty pageants are harmful for the development of young girls because it has negative effects on their education. In response to the advocate's first claim, beauty pageants cause self-image issues. This is proven to be false since child beauty pageants help develop social skills that will benefit young girls' future and help them increase their self-esteem and self-image. In the beauty pageant world, girls must be a well-rounded person to succeed. It isn't all about looking pretty and wearing fancy clothes. They also must be prepared to answer insightful questions and be able to handle themselves under pressure on stage. These are skills that are needed to be successful not only in the pageant world but in the real life as well. Participating in beauty pageants help children overcome their shyness and stage fright. It also gives them the opportunity to showcase their singing, dancing, and communication skills. It helps them discover and perfect their talents, making them feel self-worthy and special. For example, according to a report released by Women's News magazine on January 24, 2016, a study found that only 5% of girls in the pageant world had suffered from depression and that the rest possess a medium to high self-esteem. This is a fairly small percentage for the seriousness with what the advocate communicated in her argument. As well, parents often enroll their children into beauty pageant competitions to encourage them to dream bigger, want, and expect more from themselves. It's also meant to make the children realize that there's a lot of competition in the world and that they must be prepared to face the challenge to succeed. In response to the advocate's second claim, beauty pageants put too much pressure on young girls, the claim is not entirely true, since beauty pageants instill discipline into participants. To compete and be successful in the beauty pageant world, girls must have a big amount of self-discipline. Girls must keep a strict diet, a workout plan, and put in the work to make themselves look their best. This discipline is a skill that can help participants in many different aspects of life, especially if they begin competing at a young age. This self-improvement is not only physically, but it's also mentally, since it helps girls improve their self-esteem and their confidence. A great example of this is Priyanka Chopra, an Indian actress, singer, film producer, public influencer, philanthropist, and winner of Miss India and Miss World 2000 pageant. She is one of India's highest paid and most popular celebrities. Before entering the pageant world, she was a very insecure girl, but her passion for winning made her gain confidence and increase her self-esteem. She recognizes that she won Miss World not only because of her beauty, but as she said in an interview with London Real Life Talk about confidence on June 25, 2017, at Miss World, there were girls more beautiful than me competing, but I won especially because of my confidence when answering questions and my self-confidence in front of the public. She also said that that confidence is self-taught and sometimes it requires effort and discipline to achieve it. From winning Miss India, she started receiving acting opportunities in Bollywood, and now she is acting in American movies such as Baywatch and A Kid Like Jake. In regarding to the advocate's third claim, beauty pageants are harmful for the development of young girls because they have negative effects on their education. This has proven to be false, since child beauty pageants give monetary prizes and scholarships for their winners, helping them succeed educationally. Some beauty pageants have real advantages to participating. Many pageants offer cash rewards for the winners, and pageants for young girls often give out scholarships. This is great because it helps these young girls to begin to prepare for their future and gets them in the mindset for furthering themselves. Most beauty pageants also contribute towards community service and help in generating funds for charity. For example, organizations such as Miss America Outstanding Teen give the state pageant winner a $1,000 Scholastic Award. For the contestants who take special honors and the crown, the scholarship awards are significant, with Miss America Outstanding Teen winning $30,000 in scholarships. The pageant has awarded more than $125 million scholarship dollars in 35 years history and continues to award $5 million scholarship dollars annually. So in conclusion, beauty pageants help girls develop discipline, height, self-esteem, and character by developing their talents and the right social skills. As well, it helps girls to begin preparing for their future by giving them the right mindset and furthering themselves through education.
All right, most of your argument appears to be taking kind of the counter position on each of those points and rebutting it with an argument that is supported by your own evidence or your own reasoning. I don't see much attack on any of the evidence or reasoning that was presented by the advocate. So mostly it is, like I said, the development of a rebuttal issue. On the first point, you have a whole bunch of claims about what the benefits are. You mentioned social skills, they become well-rounded, they can generally be more assertive, and the only proof that we get is the one piece of statistical information that talks about only 5% of them were suffering from depression. I don't know what the general population suffers from depression. 5% seems like it's probably a little bit high. For kids, it might be, I shouldn't say that 5% seems a little bit low. For kids, it might be a little bit high, but we have no way of making a comparison whether or not this is substantial or insubstantial, and whether or not participation in a pageant had much to do with it. I think that's a little bit problematic. Everything else is mostly an assertion that these pageants produce all these benefits. I don't see any evidence that shows that they produce any of these benefits. I've got one piece of evidence on this point that suggests that depression is relatively infrequent in the pageants, and that's about as close as you come to responding to something directly that the advocate said. On the second point, on the pressure on the students to participate, in essence, you are conceding the point. Yes, there is pressure, but they learn from that pressure. That pressure is a good thing. I'm not sure that the kinds of pressures that the advocate's talking about are the same sorts of things that you're talking about, although in the long run I can see justifications for participating in these kinds of pageants given the examples that you have. And then you do, like I said, you do have one example here with the Miss India, who has had a successful career, and even though she thinks that she was not as attractive as other people, she won it because of her confidence. That maybe that reflects some of those skills that you had in that first point. But the notion that you develop and bloom under some kind of pressure, I think, is kind of a presupposition here with one example. And other than that, there's not really much discussion of whether or not there are drawbacks, and the advocate's issues are largely, shunted aside. And then on the third point, I seem to recall that one of the pieces of information that they used here was one parent sometimes took their kid out of school for a day or two to participate in the pageant, and that suggested that there's going to be a problem. I don't remember how much more information there was on that point. It didn't seem like it was particularly convincing. I'm not sure that you've done anything to respond to that issue. You've instead suggested that the goal of the pageants is to increase their educational opportunity. And I think that that does compete a little bit with what's being said here, but it assumes that people do well in these pageants, that they get scholarships. I don't know how many kids participate. I don't know how many get any kind of educational advantage out of that, and particularly in the form of scholarships or benefits. I do know there's a lot of money available. That, I think, is the best part of the argument that suggests that there are, for lack of a better phrase, prizes that would make it worthwhile, and those prizes are primarily academically based. All right. Thank you.